Yeah, so I'm just making a short video about my experience with messing around with ozone. I first encountered a guy in America way back in the about 80s who was into, he had an ozone sort of sauna thing. I wasn't really, I just felt it was a bit strange at the time, so I can definitely sympathise if you know the view that ozone seems a bit strange in terms of using it in your body. But it was later on my sister, much more recently, was raving on about she had some ozone therapy because she was hunting around trying to find some help with her condition, and she was paying a guy locally here in London, so that got me into just looking on YouTube, and I'm into gadgets and stuff, and also I'm a bit careless when it comes to, doing stuff. I'm sure I've got the scars to prove it as well. Anyway, so I had this idea I was going to make ozonated oil, So I bought something, some kind of bargain, someone selling something. And it consisted of an ozone generator and an oxygen generator. So I was playing with it, and then I got an abscess on my tooth, and the dentist said, yeah, the tooth's got to come out. And then I left it a bit, then it got really bad, where you can't even touch your tooth with your tongue. It sent a shooting pain, like 1,000 volts, And at this point it was like really late in the evening, and it got so bad, and so I couldn't sleep. So I took an aspirin. Anyway, first I just thought, well, I'll turn it on and I'll just put it in my mouth, the gas, which is very noxious. I mean, if you sniff it, it's very strange smell. But if you get it on your throat, you're just like gagging. But so I was putting it in my mouth and not swallowing it, and I was like putting it around the tooth, trying to aim it there, and the gas was coming out, and it was like inflating my mouth. I was letting it come out, and then I was trying not to breathe it on my nose. You don't want to breathe it. So I tried that for a few minutes, and then I took up a little bit of aspirin so I could try and go to sleep. Anyway, I woke up in the morning, and it was like astonishing. The pain had really gone away, and I was able to chew on it later on in the day. I think I probably did it again over the coming days. Anyway, it was amazing result, very good. And a few months later I had to do it again, and it would last for quite a long time. And then I did it a real lot, and one day and all my fillings started to hurt. I thought I'd gone a bit far, but that subsided, and it lasted, well, it's probably 5 years since I did that. I've still got the tooth. So because when they root the tooth, it's destined to cause a lot of problems, because it's going to harbour all this bacteria. And so, but I've still got it. And to me, the ozone is like, if I ever get it back, I'll just do it again. So it's very handy. And then, of course, I found out that my oxygen generator, when I invested in a meter, this thing was giving out like virtually no, it's just pumping out basically normal air with nitrogen in it. So that's rubbish, you know. Those machines are incredibly unreliable, the small ones, and even, you know, they're not very good. So I wouldn't recommend. Because I was doing it like, how can I put this? Anally. You can put the gas up your bum, and this is like supposed to be relatively safe. And it goes into your liver, and because people put it in their blood, you know. But of course, so it's best to get a bottle of oxygen. And so before that, even so, I was that was when COVID came, and I got a dose of that heavy COVID in whenever it started, and I was in the habit of if I got flu, which was quite regular, once or twice a year, I'd do like salt water, inhale it, so you sniff it up, and really strong salt water, and you put it in a cup and up the nostrils, and it like really burns if you've got an infection in your sinus. So it's very effective though. I mean, it's pretty intense for a few minutes, but then after it clears and you sort of blow your nose and everything comes out. And so it's very good, salt water, if you're getting a cold. If you think you might have picked something up, if you get it quick, it's very good. So and you feel better very quickly, because it just kills everything. And it just wipes out a lot of it. You know, it comes back, but it's kind of like gets rid of 90% of it, which is very good if you want to fight the infection. If you're kind of build up all the antibodies, it gives you a head start if you like wipe it out. So this time it was a bit much. The actual COVID was worse than flu. So I thought, right, so I decided to put some ozone gas in a big syringe and shoot it up my nose, which was very quite caustic, but the effect was amazing. You know, in about half an hour I could really feel it. Had like my whole body just, I wasn't cured, but it really helped. And I did that every day for a few days, and it just helped me make the whole thing a lot lighter and manageable. And then it goes to your chest, the COVID, as people know. And I haven't got a very good chest, but so it was a good thing to do, because it just kept me on top of it. And also if you look around, people are like bubbling the gas through olive oil, ozone gas. And obviously you want to do it with proper oxygen, good quality, like from a bottle. And so I did that, and it makes it safe to breathe in. So for me, it's okay to do that. I seem to be survived, so that seemed to be just soothing my chest. I did a bit of that after, and I've done it a little bit since. Right, so leading on to my I've seen people like injecting it into joints and stuff, like in places like India and different places. And even you see this guy who's all set up, this American guy, and he's mainlining it because you can pay to have that done. But that's one thing, I haven't gone that far. But I did inject it into my knee. After going and having it done, I had to pay 50 quid, and then so it's okay. I've got it seemed to help my knee, and my knee's doing okay. It seemed to me, I'd do it again. And also I got tics when I went abroad, and my whole numb, I got my chin, it just felt really bad. Those tics are disgusting, and my chin was paralysed, like numb. This horrible stuff that comes out the tick that they removed for me. But so when I got home, I put some ozone in around my chin, and it really seemed to bring back the feeling in my chin. It kind of burnt for a few hours, or it just felt warm. And so I'm happy with that. So that's another thing. And the latest thing is I bought this electrolysis machine that gives you oxygen and hydrogen, very pure. And when my bottle runs out, I'll probably be using that because it's even purer than the bottled gas. So you can, that's another thing that I'm looking into. So that's to create nice, supposedly safe oxygen, 99.999 whatever. And so that's another thing to look into. I got a Chinese machine which I feel confident about because I've been in touch with the people who make it, and they use high quality stuff in the electrolysis, titanium and everything. Anyway, so that's about everything I can think about. So for me, it seems to be a very, very handy thing, the ozone. Obviously, you need to, you don't want to trip up, you don't want to be totally ignorant and when you're dealing with your own health, obviously. So, yeah.